9 things you have to stop doing immediately. There are 9 habits, insidious and destructive, that quietly corrode the foundation of our lives. These habits poison the mind, strip away our freedom, and leave us adrift in a storm of emotions we cannot control. They are the enemies of clarity, of strength, of the unshakable inner fortitude that Stoicism demands of us. To live as true students of this ancient philosophy, we must stop these 2 things immediately. 1. Stop trying to control what you cannot control. The world is not yours to command. Fate is indifferent to your desires. The wind does not bend to your will, nor does the tide retreat for your comfort. Yet, how often do we waste our days railing against the uncontrollable, pouring our energy into reshaping what is beyond us? Epictetus reminds us, some things are up to us, and some things are not. The only domain truly under your command is your own mind, your own judgments. When we cling to the illusion of control over external events, whether it's the opinions of others, the randomness of fortune, or the inevitability of time, we chain ourselves to frustration and despair. Imagine a sailor in the midst of a storm, cursing the waves for their ferocity. The wise sailor does not waste breath in futile rage. He adjusts his sails, accepts the storm, and masters his own response to it. We too must learn to navigate life's tempests without falling into the trap of futile resistance. Let go of what is not yours to control. Focus instead on what is, your character, your choices, your response to life's trials. 2. Stop indulging in destructive emotions, anger, fear, envy, despair. These are not just fleeting states of mind. They are chains we place upon ourselves, willingly or not. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But we don't just stumble into destructive emotions. We invite them in. We feed them, nurture them, let them grow until they dominate us. Anger blinds us to reason. Fear shackles us to inaction. Envy erodes our gratitude. These emotions are thieves, stealing our peace, our focus, our ability to act with wisdom. To conquer them, we must first confront a hard truth. They do not come from the world outside us. They arise from within. As Seneca observed, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The world itself is neutral. Events hold no inherent meaning. It is we who assign meaning, who shape our perception, who choose whether to suffer or to rise above. When anger stirs, pause. When fear whispers, question it. When envy arises, redirect it into admiration or aspiration. This is the way of the Stoic: to master oneself, to act with reason and virtue, even in the face of life's provocations. 3. Stop living without purpose. To drift aimlessly through life is to squander the most precious resource we possess: time. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations warned us, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Every moment is a gift, a fleeting opportunity to act with purpose. Yet how often do we live as though we have an eternity ahead? Without a clear purpose, we become prey to distractions, slaves to fleeting pleasures and trivial pursuits. We waste our energy chasing things that do not matter: status, possessions, the approval of others. These are not goals, they are traps. They bind us to a shallow existence, far from the life of meaning and virtue that a Stoic must strive for. Seneca admonishes us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Purpose is what separates a life well lived from one merely endured. It is the guiding star that illuminates our path, the compass that steers us toward what is right and meaningful. But purpose is not found in grand gestures or distant ideals. It is forged in the small, deliberate choices we make each day. It is choosing to act with integrity when no one is watching. It is committing to personal growth, even when it is difficult. It is serving others, knowing that a life lived for the benefit of all is a life of true fulfillment. Ask yourself, what am I living for? What do I wish to leave behind? If you cannot answer, the time to reflect is now. Purpose is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Without it, we are rudderless ships, vulnerable to every wave and gust of wind. With it, we are unshakable. Fourth, stop letting the opinions of others define you. We live in a world obsessed with appearances, enslaved by the need for validation. How often do we act not from our own convictions, but from the fear of judgment or the hunger for praise? This is a silent thief of peace, a subtle force that bends us away from the life of authenticity and virtue. Epictetus cautioned us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. True growth, true strength cannot flourish while we are shackled to the opinions of others. The crowd is fickle, swayed by ignorance and fleeting trends. To chase their approval is to build your foundation on sand, doomed to collapse with every shift of the tide. When we live for others' approval, we surrender our power. We become actors in a play written by someone else, forfeiting the chance to craft our own story. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "It never ceases to amaze me." We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. Why give strangers the authority to dictate your worth? Why let their fleeting opinions become the compass of your life? To free yourself, embrace this truth. The only opinion that matters is the one you hold of yourself, rooted in virtue and reason. Act as though you are always being watched, not by others, but by your own conscience. Let your character, not your reputation, be your guiding light. For reputation is what others see, but character is who you truly are. The fifth, stop avoiding discomfort. Growth is born from discomfort, yet we often flee from it as if it were the enemy. We seek ease, indulgence, and safety, mistaking them for happiness, while avoiding the very challenges that could forge us into something greater. This avoidance weakens us, making us brittle and unprepared for the trials that life inevitably brings. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The Stoic does not run from discomfort, but embraces it as a necessary teacher, whether it comes in the form of physical hardship, emotional struggle, or the endurance of loss. Discomfort is a crucible in which strength, resilience, and wisdom are forged. Consider the ancient practice of voluntary discomfort, a cornerstone of Stoic training. Fasting to experience hunger, sleeping on the floor to understand simplicity, exposing oneself to the cold to sharpen fortitude. These are not acts of self-punishment, but of preparation. They teach us to endure hardship with grace and remind us that we can thrive with far less than we think we need. But discomfort is not just physical. It is facing hard truths about ourselves, challenging our own biases, and stepping into the unknown when fear begs us to retreat. Marcus Aurelius declared, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacles we avoid often conceal the very path we must take to become stronger and wiser. To stop avoiding discomfort is to reclaim your power. It is choosing courage over complacency, action over stagnation. Discomfort will come whether you seek it or not. The difference is this: the Stoic welcomes it, knowing that within the struggle lies the opportunity for growth. 6. Stop wasting time. Time is the most precious and fleeting resource we possess, yet we squander it as though it were infinite. hours slip away to idle distractions, to procrastination, to pursuits devoid of meaning. We tell ourselves there will always be tomorrow, yet every moment lost is a moment we can never reclaim. Seneca warns us on the shortness of life. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The truth is stark. Life is not short. It only seems so to those who fail to use it well. If we continue to waste time, we risk looking back at our lives with regret, realizing too late that we lived without truly living. Why do we waste time? Often it is because we are afraid to confront our purpose, afraid to make decisions, afraid to face the hard truths about ourselves. We distract ourselves with trivialities, avoiding the weight of responsibility and the call to action. But this avoidance is costly, for time marches on regardless of whether we are ready. Marcus Aurelius implores us, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not a morbid thought, but a liberating one. When we acknowledge the impermanence of life, we begin to focus on what truly matters. To stop wasting time is to live deliberately. It is to align your actions with your values, to dedicate yourself to pursuits that enrich the soul and strengthen the mind. It is to eliminate the distractions that pull you away from your purpose and embrace the discipline to make every moment count. 7. Stop making excuses. Excuses are the soft whispers of self-deception, the stories we tell ourselves to justify inaction, mediocrity, or failure. They are the barriers we build to shield ourselves from accountability, yet they trap us in stagnation. Every excuse weakens us, erodes our potential, and delays the life we are meant to live. Epictetus declared, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." When we make excuses, we deny this power. We focus on what we lack, on the obstacles in our path, instead of on the strength within us to overcome them. Life does not require perfection from us. It demands effort, resilience, and a willingness to face challenges head-on. Excuses often stem from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This is the Stoic way, to act with integrity and take full responsibility for our lives. There is no room for excuses on the path to virtue. Think of the great challenges faced by the Stoics themselves. Seneca, writing in exile, could have lamented his misfortune, but chose instead to use his time to reflect and teach. Marcus Aurelius, burdened by the weight of an empire and constant war, could have succumbed to despair, but instead wielded his power to serve with wisdom and justice. To stop making excuses is to reclaim your agency. It is to silence the inner voice that says, "I can't," and replace it with one that says, "I will." It is to take ownership of your actions and your life, knowing that while you may not control all circumstances, you always control how you respond. 8. Stop resisting change. Change is the very essence of life, yet how often do we resist it? We cling to the familiar, the comfortable, the predictable, even as the world around us shifts and transforms. This resistance does not protect us, it weakens us, it blinds us to new opportunities and hardens us against the flow of existence. Heraclitus famously said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man." The Stoics embraced this truth. They understood that change is not only inevitable, but necessary. It is the force that drives growth, reshapes our understanding, and prepares us for the challenges to come. To resist change is to resist life itself. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change the things which are and to make new things like them. This is not a call to passivity, but to acceptance and adaptation. When we embrace change, we move with the current of life rather than against it. Resistance to change often stems from fear of losing what we have, fear of the unknown, fear of failure. But the Stoic knows that fear is an illusion, a product of our own minds. What is lost makes room for what is new. What is unknown is a chance to learn, and what we fear to lose was never truly ours to keep. To stop resisting change is to cultivate resilience. It is to meet life's twists and turns with grace and adaptability. It is to shed what no longer serves us, to welcome growth, and to trust in the wisdom of the universe's unfolding. 9. Stop seeking happiness in external things. We live in a world that promises happiness through possessions, achievements, and pleasures. But no matter how much we acquire, the feeling is fleeting, leaving us hungry for more. The pursuit of external gratification is a hollow chase, one that blinds us to the deeper, lasting contentment that can only come from within. Epictetus reminds us, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." True happiness is not found in wealth, fame, or fleeting pleasures. These are beyond our control, and as such, they are unreliable foundations for our well-being. To tie your happiness to external things is to place your peace in the hands of fortune. A dangerous gamble. Seneca echoes this truth. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. When we stop seeking happiness in external things, we discover the immense power of gratitude and self-mastery. We learn that the good life is not about accumulation, but about alignment with virtue, reason, and purpose. Consider the Stoic practice of negative visualization. By contemplating the loss of what we hold dear, we come to appreciate it deeply without becoming dependent on it. We learn to find joy not in the possession of things, but in the act of living wisely and intentionally. Happiness rooted in externals is fragile, vulnerable to the whims of fate, but happiness rooted in virtue and self-control is unshakable. It allows us to weather life's storms, to find peace even in adversity, and to act with courage and integrity no matter the circumstances. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an opportunity to elevate your mindset and embrace the Stoic way of living. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What's one thing you're going to stop doing immediately to take control of your life? Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, the power to change is in your hands. Until next time.